It's finally official. This is the season that never happened. On November 15th, this series will die. History will be erased. It'll be like it never happened. It never went down. I was never drafted by the Sacramento Kings. None of this happened. Before 2K14 came out, I even said this in my 2K13 commentaries. I said, I don't know what's going to happen here with these two games coming in the consoles. Back then, I was hoping there would be support to just carry over your player from current gen to next gen and pick off where you left off. But now that they have the new storylines and the rivals and everything that's going on, I wouldn't want to do that anyway. I'd want to start fresh because I want to see those cutscenes. I want to see my player getting drafted again because they said this year, this time with the next generation version, you want to get drafted. You're not going to want to miss out on the draft and the whole rivalry thing going on with the storylines. So apparently they've got some tricks up their sleeves and you don't want to miss that experience. So I'm going to be starting fresh. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know if I'll get drafted by the Sacramento Kings again. Probably not. You never know. So this series, this current gen version is all about getting practice for the next gen, getting used to the controls, because it's clear when 2K changes the controls, it's not meant to be played on the older controls, even though they might have options. Every year they do. They have options to switch back to last year's controls, but that's not the way the game was intended to be played. And in this game, if you do that, you can't throw alley-oops and you can't throw flashy passes. Now the funny thing though is that I've noticed with the current gen version of 2K14, I haven't really thrown any alley-oops. It's almost like I'm never in a situation where I can throw one. I don't know if it's the Sacramento Kings. I don't know if the gameplay is just different in this game, but there's not really that many opportunities for me so far to throw lobs. I mean, you've seen the gameplay I've been posting. When have I ever had an opportunity to lob it up? Not that many, maybe only a handful of times in however many games I've played so far. And one thing I find that I'm not using is the flashy passes. I never really use it, whether I'm on a fast break or I just pass it off. I never really take advantage of it. In the previous game in 2K13, you didn't have a button to throw flashy passes, but every once in a while you would throw them. Because I have clips and highlights and I've had times where I'm doing it, I'm bouncing through my legs, behind the back passes, no looks on the break, 360 passes. And if you watch my 2K13 My Career series, then you remember those passes because I would go into replay mode and show them off. But that's the question I have for you. For everyone else that's been playing 2K14, and this is a nice move right there. I go through the legs on the break. That was nice. Gotta show the replay of that. But I have a question for you, for people that are playing this game. Do you throw flashy passes? Do you actually use the modifier every game? Do you take advantage of it? Because I haven't been doing it. If you watch all my games, I've been getting a lot of assists. You see me averaging so many assists per game, and I never take advantage of the flashy passes. Look at me getting them up in the air with the pump. Get the second guy with the pump, passing it off. My vision is really good. It's always really good. And that's why when you see me make a turnover, when I'm not using an icon pass, because I passed it the way I didn't want to, that's not me making a bad pass. That's because sometimes the game, it just doesn't know where you want to pass it when you're not directional or icon passing. Now this next play that we're about to watch is actually the full play of the clip I used in my last video with the shot clock violation. So many things go wrong. You're going to see on the screen right here, I try to run him off, but you see that was a bad pick. He set it in a spot. Even though I tried to run him off, that pick was set so far away in such a bad angle that there was no way there was going to be a collision. So see, this possession, not only was it bad with the reach in and getting stuck in the animation, the whole play was messed up. That screen off the ball was messed up. That entire possession was just an epic fail. And I think the next gen version, we're going to have the same problems because we saw in the last video, they're still setting picks in spots, and a lot of times they're not facing the right direction, or their angle is so bad that it's not possible to lead the defender into the screen. So the success rate all depends on luck, pretty much. It's not about skill, it's just luck. You have to get lucky and hope that, you know, they stand in a spot that you can lead them into. This is going to be an interesting year of basketball because I'm going to pick up both games. So if the NBA Live actually does release, they don't delay it, they don't stop it. If it actually comes out, I'm going to pick up both games and I'm just going to play and compare because I actually noticed something. I watched the NBA Live trailer over again and I noticed that when Steve Nash did that floater, Pau Gasol set a proper screen. He actually went over to the player and set the screen right next to the player. Now that was just one play, so we don't know if Live has problems just like 2K where when they set a pick, sometimes they stand in la-la land. So we need to see more pick and rolls in Live to see if they ever have that problem. Because in 2K, sometimes when you run a pick and roll, it works correctly. But then there's a lot of times where they're standing in la-la land. So we just see those are the kind of things that you can test out and compare between both games. So that's what I'm going to be doing. It's going to be a very interesting year just to see the fundamentals of both games. We already know that graphically, NBA Live is way behind. Their graphics next gen don't look anything like 2K's, but gameplay, what are we going to discover? And I'm interested to see if Live has a post game because in their last Live, they had a terrible post game. It was so severely limited. This is going to be an interesting year of videos.